Now, you must master this before working on anything else in the golf swing. So this is an incredibly important part of the golf swing that creates your club path. So whether you're a slicer of the golf ball, whether you're a drawer of the golf ball, this is one of the biggest influences on it. And this would be great for the golfing knowledge, because if there's any time that you're stuck behind a tree, you want to shape it around one way or the other, this info is going to help you. And this is all about where you are at the top of the backswing with your left arm and your hands. So this is called the depth of your hands and your left arm at the top of the swing. So the more depth we have, the more behind the hands are, the lower the left arm is. And then the less depth we have, the more on top the hands are, and the higher the left arm is to where you can see almost the right shoulder underneath. So let's say that one first. This is really common for golfers. Up here with that left arm, really high left arm, high hands right on top of the body. These golfers will generally struggle with out to win slices. Watch this one here. Look at the out to win path that I'm going to produce. I'm going to have no depth of that left arm and hand, so they're going to be very vertically up. And if I just let the downswing go, I swing extremely out to win and very, very steep on it. This is so many golfers who struggle with over-the-top golf swings, and this is also with golfers who massively struggle with early extension. This is a massive root cause of it, because when golfers have that high left arm, high hands position, the club will always want to fly out in front of you. So a lot of golfers from there, if they don't just continue to chop across it, they will move the upper body back and pelvis will go forward. The spine will extend, and you can see what happens to the club there. It goes a little bit more on the inside. It shallows out, doesn't it? So a lot of golfers will react to it and have that early extension move to get the club back on path a little bit so they can hit the ball to the target. Very, very common. So that's massively one that golfers need to fix. I'd say that's probably one of the most common swing faults I have in lessons on a daily basis, is that very fault. And it's one that golfers have no idea they're doing. And golfers will do it because they're not turning their body enough, or their takeaway is going too out. And if you don't turn your body enough, you're not going to get any movement around with your arms. If your takeaway goes out, you can have good rotation on the backswing, but your hands will still go up because the trajectory they're going to take is to go up. Huge problem. But the other way is just as much of a problem. When you have way too much depth and your left arm is really low and, let's say, flat across your body. So from here, if the deeper, more behind your hands are, lower the left arm, the more you're going to swing on the inside. So you're going to really swing from in to out. If you watch this here, we're going to see with the red line from my path line. Very, very inside. Not the best. You're going to struggle just as much as the golfer who has a lack of depth. Way too much curvature. I would see players generally from there, what they might try to do if they don't just keep the club on the inside, they'll be really low and then they'll try to really rotate the upper body very hard, very tense grip pressure these players have. They'll swing right across it, just in effort to get the club back on path. So to hit more consistent shot shapes and for your body to do less to reorganize this bad position one way or the other, you need to have your left arm roughly around your shoulder plane. So when you're looking at yourself, which you should all do, you should all look at your golf swing on camera when you're practicing, you need to see your left arm covering the view of your right shoulder. It could be a little bit under, it can be a little bit over, that's fine. That'll just create a little path one way or the other. But very, very important to be able to do that. How you go about doing that and creating that naturally is having the in and up movement. In and up. Talking about the hands here. In and a takeaway. So we want to have those hands move fairly in and a takeaway, roughly about a fist distance outside our right leg, because that will keep, one, the club moving on the arc, and then have the hands moving on the mirrored arc. But we can't just continue to go in, otherwise we've got that massive amount of depth. We don't want that. So what we've got to do here is then we've got to feel an upward high movement with the hands. We want to be turning and rotating the hips at the same time to get ourselves having good depth, not just lifting the hands dead straight up. So in and up whilst turning the body. So doing it that way is not going to give you too little depth or too much depth. So a good way to practice it is doing it just like this. So getting those hands on the in movement, stopping there, and now we know, okay, what happens from here? Up and rotate. So, okay, there we go. Now up with the hands and rotate the body. There we go. That's going to give you great club path. And that's one of the most important things to be able to play good golf. You want a nice, consistent club path. A little bit in, into out, a little bit out to in, doesn't matter. We want it to be consistent. We don't want it to be excessive so we can control our curvature. Golf is going to be extremely difficult for you if you're reluctant on fixing the problem of having not enough depth or too much of it, you're going to struggle to get your handicap to a decent level. So if you like this video, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So let's master this and really absorb this knowledge before we work on anything else.